When the body of a missing mother from the Jemez Pueblo turned up in a ravine, her family had more questions than answers. They claim New Mexico law enforcement agencies botched a criminal case before it even began. KRQE investigative reporter Gabrielle Burkhart shows you why Lynelle Tafoya's family is asking the feds to step in.
If you ask about her daughter, Brenda Tafoya will tell you.
She had a sense of humor. She was funny, always joking around, making us laugh and loving with her kids.
Her daughter, Lynelle Tafoya, is more than a statistic, a hard message to get across when the 34-year-old mother of 4 went missing from her home on the Jemez Pueblo in August of 2021.
Told me, "I'll be back, Mom." She left, and that was it. She never came back.
More than a week had passed when Brenda got a call from a Pueblo police officer asking her to come to the station.
Told me that they found her body in Santa Ana, and I just broke down, telling me that she would have probably been in the ravine for maybe a week. They didn't really know.
So what happened to Lynelle Tafoya between the Jemez Pueblo and where she was found here in Bernalillo near Santa Ana? Tafoya's mom has been searching for those answers for more than 2 years now.
She didn't do this on her own. Somebody did something.
One of the investigating officers, Bernalillo police officer Jeremy Navarez, has since been fired from the department after a domestic violence arrest KRQE reported on last year. But the day Tafoya's daughter was found in the Ranchitos ditch near I-40 in Bernalillo, Navarez responded to the call and wrote the police report. He noted her pants were down around her ankles, a cell phone was found about 500 yards north, and her backpack located further down along the trail on Santa Ana Pueblo property. Bernalillo and Sandoval County fire departments were called to retrieve the body, but the officer writes, as of now, no signs of foul play were observed or reported. End of report. The case is filed as an unattended death.
Extremely troubling to see the evidence in this case. I mean, I think the first signs of foul play was her being naked in the ravine.
Attorney David Adams claims authorities should have opened a homicide investigation. Potential evidence, he says, was mishandled and destroyed.
Gave me back her phone, her backpack, and thinking, well, don't you guys need these to find out what happened or go into her phone or anything?
Hoping another agency would dig deeper, Tafoya says she gave her daughter's cell phone to Santa Ana Pueblo police.
And unfortunately, in that process, the contents of the phone were destroyed.
Tafoya's attorney calls this case a jurisdictional nightmare since it involves the Jemez Pueblo, Santa Ana Pueblo, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and the township of Bernalillo. A main reason, he argues, for federal investigators to step in.
This is an opportunity to kind of spread awareness about how many cases there are that aren't being properly investigated and to ensure that they get investigated by the appropriate agencies.
Adams sent a letter with a synopsis of Tafoya's case to the U.S. Attorney, asking his office to open a homicide investigation.
We have both, a very unique relationship with our tribal partners and responsibility towards them, and a unique ability to bring resources to solve problems.
U.S. Attorney for the District of New Mexico, Alex Ubaez, wouldn't speak about this specific case, but we know his office is looking into it. The Justice Department's Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons, or MMIP, outreach program is a priority, he says.
As communities, as families and next of kin reach out, they have someone to reach out to.
Trying to bridge that gap and get these different agencies to cooperate with each other, to communicate, is a big goal of the program.
Elliot Neal is a full-time MMIP coordinator with the U.S. Attorney's Office. In cases like Tafoya's, Neal works with federal law enforcement and tribal partners to get answers, and if possible, hold criminals accountable.
Without some of the physical evidence, we're relying more heavily on witness interviews, things like that, circumstantial evidence, things like that, which is just as valuable in court.
The medical examiner for Tafoya writes, "This is a complicated case. The possible causes of death include toxic effects of methamphetamine and drowning, or a combination of both. The official manner of death is undetermined."
Up until the last few years, through New Mexico and the Department of Justice, you see a lot more task forces being put together to help address what they consider to be an epidemic in itself.
Determined to help in this case, Adams points to a, quote, unusual finding in the young mother's autopsy. The ends of her fingers were missing.
Signs that would have suggested, further investigation.
Tafoya's mom, who's now caring for her young grandchildren,
I'm the grandma, yeah, but nobody can replace their mom.
just wants answers.
You don't believe it was just an unattended death?
No.
Gabrielle Burkhart, KRQE investigates.
Tafoya's attorney believes at least one of the suspects they've identified is serving time in federal prison, but federal investigators won't confirm who, if anyone, they're looking at in Tafoya's case.